How I love to vibe when I'm vibing with you. How I love to vibe when the vibing is true. How I love to vibe when I'm vibing with you. We're vibing, we're vibing, we're vibing, we're vibing. It's Mike and Kass vibing out.
Hello, beautiful spirit.
Well, hello, beautiful spirits.
How are you feeling today?
I'm so good, so grateful, so thankful. I'm grateful that I actually feel grateful and thankful.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Oh my God, yeah. I am grateful that I feel grateful right now. I hope y'all are doing good. Hope your day's going well, your week's going well. And if it's not, then hopefully after this episode, it'll be going well.
There you go. There you go. What's your name, girl?
I'm Kass. What's your name?
My name is Michael, or you can call me Mike. And this is Mike and Kass vibing out. If this is your first time tuning in to us, welcome. We know it won't be your last.
Glad to have
Even
y'all.
if it's just for good energy, just to tune in and, feel that unconditional love coming in your direction. That's always beneficial to have people rooting for you in your life. So we are a community of unity, and one by one.
I like that.
Yes, yes, one by one, until we surround this whole world with love. That's how we do. So today, our third episode, today is Get to Know Mike and Kass Day. And I'll be frank with you. I'm not one of those people that really likes to talk about myself. So you're going to kind of have to help me with that. We're going to kind of bullet point this.
I'll ask you lots of questions. Don't worry.
Just have a discussion, because I think it's real important to know why you do the things you do, and then ultimately, if you're listening to us, knowing who are these damn people I'm listening to, and why should I listen to them, and where are they coming from? Obviously, if something resonates with you, doesn't matter if it's coming from an 8-year-old or an 80-year-old. Wisdom is ageless, but it's also good to know foundationally so you can feel that connection with who we are. Let me just say this real quick about myself. I've had 2 passions in my life. 1, helping people. 2, music, since I was a little kid. And that's shown up in several different ways throughout my life. But I've always had an intention of wanting everybody to live their best life and be successful. Yeah. And I had no idea that was unusual until I became an adult.
Because it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be until real life kicked in. So I think out of everything, that's the most important thing to know about me. And I'm going to put you on the spot. If there's anything that would be the most important for people to know about you, Kass, what would that be?
I don't know. That's a hard one, because, I mean, similar things, I guess, like I just want the world to be a better place. I know that sounds so cliche, but I've always tried to do that with myself and with everyone, is like, I just want to make an impact on the world in whatever way feels right. And I feel like, there's so much more to like learn and stuff, but right now I'm definitely on the aligned path that I know I'm supposed to be on, which is helping people starting from within, starting with their mind, their body, their spirit, whatever else, and just helping people in that way. And obviously that's going to expand into different like ways I do that, I guess. But yeah, I'm just somebody who wants to make the world a better place, because I think there's a lot of things going on right now that I don't want.
She didn't say, I'm just going to tell you, my version of which will be a 30-second version of the thing you need to know about Kass. Kass, and we can say how we met, but from the moment that I met her, she's pure energy, pure good energy, pure love. And you can feel it, So that's the thing you know about Kass. When you meet Kass, you're going to feel that energy of love and pure spirit. That's like, I think that's most important. I think that's the best thing you can probably damn near say about anybody. So,
I appreciate that.
You can accept and receive the truth of that compliment. And it's our reason partly why we're sitting here right now, is because of that. But we're going to get into it. We have like little mini notes today, a lot of things I didn't really know, and I'm just like reading through it right now. Like, she sent me little bullet points about her life and a lot of things I'm curious about that's gonna trigger some conversation. So some things will be light, simple things, and certain things a little bit deeper about who we are. Okay, I'm just gonna read some things that we don't necessarily need to talk about this
Okay.
young lady here. And then if I have questions, I'll ask, and then you guys can always ping us and ask us later if it's interesting to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Horror movies are her guilty pleasure. Now, I find that interesting because me personally, like horror movies, I treat myself like as a little kid. As a grown ass man, I act more like a kid now as far as like what goes into my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always like horror movies and one of those things like that's bad energy. But I think it's a guilty pleasure for a lot of folks. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, you read tarot cards.
I do. Not like professionally or anything, but I love reading tarot.
I did not know that. Tell me
Oracle
about that.
cards. I'll have to bring. I forgot to bring them. I should like do a little reading or something sometime.
Yeah. We'll have to do that for sure.
Yeah. No, I got into that like at the beginning of COVID. I'd say I got like my first tarot deck. It was my grandma's old one or whatever, and I was like, "This is weird and interesting. Like, let me just look through them." And
does that run in the family?
Not really. I mean, my grandma used to do that, but she doesn't talk about it because she's, I think, on the more negative side of things because it kind of has to do with your own energy and whoever you're reading for. That's why, like, I do readings on myself and the same, like, 20 cards come out, and then I do a reading for someone else and totally different cards come out. It's so weird. And I just, like, tried it because it was fun, and now I'm very into it and think it's a great way to strengthen intuition and get in touch with different spiritual sides of ourselves. So I love doing that. I do like some tarot readings and stuff on like YouTube and TikTok and that type of thing, just as fun little things. And sometimes it's just the message people need to hear, affirmations and stuff.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
And my limited experience with it, just seeing things on TV, I would, my limited perspective would be like some heebie-jeebie, like, weird, strange stuff. But
I mean, I'm a little weird. I'm an Aquarius, so
she's a lovable weirdo, as we all are in our own ways. But she's not. It's good energy, So on the strength of who you are, makes me look differently on what that might be with tarot cards.
Yeah.
Cassidy is also a philosophy major. She's in a Buddhist fraternity. I'm interested in hearing more about that. What is that about?
So it's a co-ed Buddhist frat at my school, and basically what we do is, we talk about Buddhism a little bit, but we basically just talk about the concepts within Buddhism. So why mindfulness is so important, why compassion and generosity is so important. And it's honestly just a really cool community of people who like talking a little deeper about things, whereas a lot of the other frats and sororities on campus aren't necessarily that way. It's more just like fun friends to be around, which is great. But this is like where we meditate every week and just talk about life and have people to kind of lean on. And I joined that when everything was online last fall, and I was kind of getting into my spiritual personal development journey at the time, but I was still like in a major depression at the time, having lots of anxiety, and just felt so alone, like had no one that I felt resonated with me or that really I could get on that deep level with. And then joined that, and even through just Zoom meetings, I already felt like, damn, this is my community and stuff. So I think it's a really
that's powerful
cool thing.
that led you to that. We either grow through pain or an intention to grow. That's one of the little tidbits we be throwing at you. Think about that.
We'll have to make an episode on that too.
At first I read this as 2, but I think you said I have 11 piercings. You got 11 piercings.
I got 6,
Damn.
4, and 1 on my belly button.
Okay. I got a little scared when I was going.
No.
For a moment.
I know. I wanted to say belly button because then on here.
I don't know where she was going. We ain't put out no boxes on it, but try to keep it PG-13 or maybe like rated R minus. Okay. You used to want to be a track star.
I did track all throughout high school. Not all throughout, actually, my first 2.5 years of high school. And I guess a little in middle school, but I don't really count that. I did like mid-distance sprints usually, and I was pretty good. And went to like CIF and stuff, and my coaches were like, okay, you're on track to go to college for this and whatever. And then it was I think my junior year of high school, where I just had like a breakdown one time, and I was like, I can't do this under pressure anymore. Like, I just can't. I love running. I still do. I'm a fitness coach. Like, I love working out, love health and wellness and whatever. But for that much pressure, I was like, nah, this is supposed to be fun.
The joy was taken away.
Yeah. Did you ever have that experience with, like, did you play sports growing up?
I played football, basketball, baseball growing up, and I just love to play. And I think more so for me, since I played since I was like 6 years old.
Okay.
I think I kind of took for granted and just got more so burnt out. Of always doing something, every season. It was more like a burnout thing rather than like the pressure, because I love competition.
Yeah.
I love competition.
I like it too.
We play anything. I don't care if it's football, basketball, baseball, tiddlywinks, cards, whatever, darts, pool. Like, I love competition. It doesn't matter if I win, which I will most of the time. But
not with me.
We'll see. That'll be one episode. You might catch us, doing a triathlon of obscure sports.
That'd be fun.
But yeah, it's more of a burnout thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Never been out of the country.
I have not. I want to travel so much. I just haven't traveled much. I've been to a couple different states, but
right on. Never even to Mexico.
No.
We gotta change that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say this right now. Before it's all said and done, we will be doing a vibing out episode in some other country, because Mexico's so easy. It's right down the street. So we can. That's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. At least that, if not more fun places. And then also, traveling, boy. It for who you are, like, you're meant to travel.
Yeah, that's
experience like different things. You're not one of those folks, and God bless them. I'm born here. I'm gonna die here. I never
thank you.
I never understood that mentality of not ever wanting to leave your little 3-by-3 mile radius.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. You hadn't read a book in 6 years, until last year.
Yeah.
And now you're a book nerd.
Yeah, I literally have so many books. I probably read a couple books a month or something. All throughout school, I was like required to read books, so I'd like Spark Note everything since like middle school, high school, like the whole thing, and never like read on my own because I was like, I just don't have time. Nothing's interesting, and all I knew that existed were like more boring fiction books that like we had to read for school. And then it was when the pandemic hit and I went home from school and I realized, I should get some like self-help books and mindfulness and that type of thing. And now I'm all about that. Like, give me some Eckhart Tolle or like, I don't know, anyone. Joe Dispenza, amazing.
It's interesting. When I read that, it made me think about, I didn't think I liked to read until I was an adult.
Right?
Because of the books that we were forced to read weren't interesting to me. And I realized something about myself. I like reading books that make me better. Mm-hmm. And, and when I started reading things that actually improved the quality of my life and that helped me evolve, I realized I love to read.
That's so interesting.
And so if you don't think you like to read, maybe you're just reading the wrong damn things. Because I certainly thought, I didn't enjoy reading. And it was just happened to be with the subject matter. Really interesting. You are an only child. Mm-hmm. We talked about this yesterday, too.
Yeah, we did.
So I have like this preconception. I come from a larger family, 2 sisters and a brother, so it's 4 of us, of the only child syndrome, and there's this idea of narcissism, selfish, self-involved, very self-oriented. But you don't have any of those qualities that I've seen thus far.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see them in myself. Who knows? I may be ignorant to my own maybe flaws or whatever, but I definitely grew up like kind of spoiled in a way, but also with the mentality that like I must work for everything that I get and that I'm so grateful to, have what I have. And so, I think, I don't know, props to my parents and my family for just like teaching me, I think, in the right ways, or in the ways that at least resonated with me, that, not everyone gets this privilege. Like, I definitely grew up knowing that I had privilege, which made me grateful to have that.
That's huge. And I never place judgment on folks, but growing up without means myself, we had everything. Thankfully, I had a lot of love in my family, and every family has a dysfunction. But we had love. We had a roof over their head, food in their stomachs. But we had bare minimum means. Like there's a lot of things that technically, for you being on a certain level, you're supposed to have, but we didn't have. But I wouldn't change a thing. And, it's interesting that a lot of times when people grow up with a certain amount of privilege, usually there's a level of privilege that continues to where there's a lack of gratitude, or they assume that things are going to be given to them. It's a lot of times there's a lack of really like depth of character and perception because they haven't gone through certain things that people who have gone without have, which is cool because also her level of gratitude, that energy is not there. Like it's an energetic thing, and I don't see it, which is awesome and refreshing. Back to gratitude from our last episode, but that's a huge part of it. So that's refreshing to see because that doesn't happen very often. So to your parents and to who you choose to be.
Thank you.
And then she's been vegan for over 3 years now. We'll have a longer conversation about that later, but I think it's time to get to know me.
Yes, definitely. I know you grew up in St. Louis, and you've moved around and stuff to different countries, and I know you've already told me a little bit about that, but I don't know, tell me, like where you've been, tell everyone where you've lived, and what's like your favorite place that you've lived so far?
That's a great question. Each one of it has its own benefit. So I've lived in 4 different cities, 2 different countries. Grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, the Midwest, then to Los Angeles, California, then to Europe, Stockholm, Sweden to be exact, and then San Diego, and then like a combination of being in Southern California. As far as like what's home, it's interesting. The people of the Midwest, I love going home to eat. People are grounded. Per capita words means something. That work ethic, sports city is very rooted and grounded, and I love that energy.
Okay.
California is one of the most beautiful states on earth. Very progressive. There's so much to do. Even though I've never taken full advantage, the fact that you can be in the mountains and the ocean the same day is amazing.
That is crazy, yeah.
As long as I've been out here, I haven't done that. So we have to do that.
We're going to do that.
I've never done, being at both places in the same day. And there's an energy, despite some of the superficiality, there's an energy of creativity. There's an energy of passion and dreams, So despite the surface stuff, there's a energy for like doing great things, which I really appreciate about California. Living in Europe, there's more of an openness in certain ways. Their lifestyle is a lot healthier than ours. The grocery stores are small. You can't. There's not aisles. There's not a whole lot of preservatives in the food. The transportation system. I remember I walked everywhere, and it was just like overall in certain ways a healthier lifestyle. That I appreciated, and also like a more openness. Like America has the sickness, obviously, of racism, the black and white thing. And although like racism exists throughout the world, it wasn't more so based like in color, black and white. It's more so like people are raced towards like different cultures, which is still not good, but it doesn't have that same energy of like people looking at me just because my skin is black, that separation. And I felt that energy immediately, which brings me back to probably like, why a lot of artists back in the day, like in the 1920s, that they would go to Europe because that's where they felt freedom.
Interesting.
That's where they felt like, human beings. So I definitely, even though it's in the 2000s, I felt that energy. I felt that different energy. It was like, oh, damn. That's what that feels like to be looked at as an American, rather than just like a black man, And so that's something I also appreciated about living in Europe. But I came a lot when I got back, and went to Target for the first time. It was like, oh. And when I got back into my car for the first time, listening to my music. So it's the give and takes. They all have benefits. For being there. That's a great question. You got another one? I'll just, you want to do fun facts? You want me to rattle off some fun facts?
Yeah, well, first I want to learn more about your music career and stuff, because I know you're very into music. So just tell me maybe like what started that, and like what type of music you like, and how you got into all that, because I'm very interested.
Right on, Kass. So, like I mentioned before, there's two things I'm passionate about, and that is helping people and music. Like since I was 8 years old, like I would be on a vacuum. That was my microphone.
Oh my God,
singing,
that's amazing.
and starting to write songs. And, I didn't know that was unusual once again until I got older, but it's just been a part of my very, existence, and just like a genuine love for music and the way it moves people, and how it's a universal language, and how it brings people together, and just, so it's just a part of my fiber and being. So it was natural. And growing up, I, had the opportunity to be in singing groups, and then worked for Warner Brothers for a bit, and having different management. And my music was what actually brought me to Europe, which is dope. And I've had amazing experiences because of music. I've sang for a sitting president, done national anthems at major games.
Wow, that's
perform
awesome.
My music in front of thousands of people, which is an energy that I can't even begin to explain, that energy exchange. And so it's a constant leap of faith. And that's also like part of my spiritual practice, because like when songs come to you, it's like, where does that come from?
Ooh,
like that
direct download.
That divine download.
Yeah.
And so it's just, music is part of the fiber of my being.
I love that, because music is a universal language. Like, I've even listened to songs where I don't know what people are saying. Like, it's in another language I don't understand, but I can still feel exactly what it's meaning. And it's like the lyrics can move you, the sounds can move you, them together can move you in all different ways. And so I think it's so amazing. I don't make music, I listen to it, I love it, but I think it's so amazing and creative to hear people that are artists and actually like create from that space.
It's 1:11. I just had to point that out.
I was looking on the clock over there. I was like, ooh,
that's one of our divine numbers that we know is 1:11 right now.
2222. It just passed as well.
All dreams coming true right now. For you, for us. We're holding space for you always. Take a moment just to picture the best for yourself in life right now. The best possible scenario in every aspect. Just do it. Don't think about it. Don't allow your mind to get in the way of telling you what's not possible. There's no expiration date on your dreams. Take a moment just to picture the best and accept and receive it, and know we're rooting for you right now. Whether you're listening to this or whether you're seeing this in visual, just take it in.
Breathe it in. And it's possible. Dream bigger.
It's a moment. It's a moment. So I'm going to wrap up myself, and then you can ask me some questions.
Okay.
Because of that, I've had a unique journey of being able to do TV spots, some voiceovers.
You definitely have the voice for voiceovers.
yeah. So
That's cool.
That was a stumble on, but, just taking action and surrendering to, unique talents and gifts. Wrote a book, not because I wanted to. Top 5 things I wouldn't want to do is write a book, but I was running on the beach at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was listening to an Audible, and something hit me like, you should write a book. What I've learned is when you have those divine nudges, you got to listen. So I got home. I was living on the ocean at the time, and I started writing for like 3 hours in a notebook. And I had an intention. It was at the beginning of the notebook. I was like, by the end of this notebook, I want to be done with this book. And the writing got super small. But at the bottom of the last page, the thought was complete.
Wow. That's so amazing.
Yeah. So a little 50-page book called Freedom Time. It's on Audible and Amazon. You can just listen to my voice. It's only 42 minutes. Small business owner, as you know.
Yeah.
Kass is a major part of the team and growing, and with helping people, health and wholeness, mind, body, and spirit, huge part of my life.
Did you always want to start a business, or were you just passionate about helping, and then that kind of came in?
Nah, let me tell you something. Being a boss, a lot of people call themselves bosses. A lot of times they're not bosses. Let me just go and put that out there, because there's nothing really about like being a boss that's like, unless you're on an ego trip, that's not that fun. I have no intention of enjoying to, hurt human beings. The intention is to help as many people as we can and have a collective team of folks that are about that life. And I'm one of those people who, since I was a little kid, never paid attention to it. I never wanted to be a lead anything, but I've always naturally been a leader. And so, but it was just an intention to serve, which evolved into a business, and the freedom that gives, and the freedom to serve in unique ways that I feel like I'm divinely anointed to serve, and finding like-minded people, to join that journey.
Amazing,
We've served and helped hundreds of folks. We want to get to thousands and eventually to millions. So take that attention and run with it.
I love that.
Any other questions? You see, I'm trying to shorten it up. The shit about me, like I gotta get over that. But
we gotta get into the depths of who is Mike.
We go wrap up me unless you got any other questions. Just put
maybe like some fun facts about you. Any interesting things off the top of your head?
Well, I'll wrap it up with this: is that I'm a kid for life. I'm very much a grown man. I have responsibilities and all that, but I'm an absolute kid for life. I love to play. I love to play, and the minute I start losing that, my happiness quotient goes down, and I know I'm not being true to myself. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm all heart, and owning a business, living in L.A., you can start to get tainted, and you can start to close up and start to separate yourself from anybody. You can isolate yourself, but that's not being true to who I am. I love and want the best for everybody. And so living from a place of pure heart is something I really try to maintain. I've had to learn how to protect my heart so I can stay who I am, which means a lot of time by myself. And last thing, I'm an extroverted introvert. That's probably the truest thing to me. I was uncomfortably shy as a child, but I, could get along with anybody. And I think by default of, playing sports and being pretty good at them, automatically created certain levels of socialization. And then just the intention to help people and loving music has put me in situations where I can't hide, so it's really ironic because my natural nature is very observative, and just to observe and be in situations, I'm never in any environment like, look at me. I'd rather hide and people watch. That's one of my favorite things to do, and just observe. But my purposes on this planet have ironically put me out there,
That's so interesting.
So when I perform music, before I perform, it's always like, if anybody will be blessed by my energy, this song, this music, who am I not to share? And then I go do the damn thing, because I'm not a coward. Same thing if I'm speaking in front of several hundred people. If anybody be blessed by anything I have to say and the energy behind it, who am I not to say that? And I'm be like, and I go do the damn thing, and that's what it's about. And I think that is probably one of the most important things to know about this guy, Michael Cawthorn, Mike Cawthorn, depending if it's my mama talking or certain friends,
Yeah, I love that. I love that, because it's so interesting to me how, like, we're maybe guided in one direction, which is so different than maybe our default or how we, like, naturally want to be. Like, yeah, you naturally kind of want to be in the background, but you're like, I got to do this. Like, this is my purpose here. And I find that so interesting. And it just shows how, your purpose can be something other than what you're, like, naturally inclined to do, but you'll feel that pull in you. And you'll feel like, I'm meant to do this. And it's like going towards those fears or those insecurities or whatever. That's where the most growth happens and where you can usually make the most difference. So
our next episode, getting outside your comfort zones.
Yes.
I
love that. Yeah. I love that.
Full disclosure, I literally got to catch a train like right now. So we're going to wrap this up. I hope you've enjoyed getting to know my good friend Kass and me, Mike C, in a place to be. Oh, looking at me, legitimately, we start to flow and we start the party. Pete, hey, I'm
love it.
We love you. We're rooting for you. Till next time, Mike and Kass vibing out. Peace.
See y'all. Bye.